Okay, it is recording.
Okay.
You're good to go.
See?
Yep.
All right. Hi, welcome. This is our yoga routine. It will last approximately 30 minutes. And we'll go ahead and get seated, and we'll find our way to lie down on the floor. You can use a mat or a towel or a bed sheet or a blanket. Knees are bent. And we'll put both of our hands on our belly. And if you can imagine that your hands are a boat and your belly is the waves on the water, you can feel your hands rise up with the breath, kind of like the boat is bouncing along on the waves. We'll stay here for a couple more breaths. As you inhale, feel the stomach rise. And as you exhale, we'll feel our navel sink in gently towards our spine. Planting our feet firmly on the floor, on your next inhale, we'll press our hips up off of the floor, like so, and exhale it all the way back down. As you inhale, maybe you can take your hands up over your head as you breathe in. As you exhale, we'll bring our hands back down. Follow your movement with your breath as take the entire inhale, and when you reach the top of your inhale, we're reaching our hands back behind us. As you exhale, our hands come down around in front of us. The entire exhale takes our hands all the way back down. When we come back down the next time, we'll keep our hips down. As you inhale, we'll lift our stomach up a little bit higher into the air. And as you exhale, we'll paste our lower back down towards the mat. And follow your breath. Inhale up. And exhale, lower back comes down to the ground. Inhaling back up. On your next exhale, we'll find our way into a neutral position, neither lifted or tucked, and roll over to your side. Bending your knees, and we'll pillow our head and our upper arm. On your next inhale, let's come up into a tabletop position. And then the hands are right underneath the shoulders. The knees are right underneath the hips. As you inhale, let's see if we can, without moving our hands, see if we can pull our hands toward our knees, lifting our tailbone, looking up. As you exhale, maybe puff up again through your shoulder blades, rounding your back. Inhale forward. This is called cow, lifting your chest. As you exhale, as you puff up through your shoulder blades, this is called cat. And let's link our movement to our breath as we inhale for cow. And when it's time for you to exhale, you come into a cat. We'll do this one more time. And when you're finished with your last cat, we'll bring our spine back down into a tabletop position. As you inhale, let's reach our left foot back behind us for a calf stretch. And inhale back into center. Switch to the other side, stretch out the right, and come on back in. This time, as you stretch the left leg out, let's bring the right hand out long, pushing up through the left hand, and exhale all the way back down. Switching over to the other side, tucking the toes of the right so we can get a calf stretch, and then reaching our hand out, left hand out at shoulder height. When it's time for you to exhale, come on back down, and let's switch it up a little bit. Maybe you want to take your heel up off the ground. Maybe you want to keep your heel right where it is. And follow your breath. As you inhale, reach left hand, right leg long. As you exhale, come on back down. And we'll do this one more time on both sides. We all breathe at different rates, so when I'm inhaling, it might not be the same space that you're inhaling. We're just using our breath as our guide. So when it's time for you to inhale, we reach out long, and when we exhale, we bring our hands back down to the mat. Let's bring our hands forward the space of one palm print, tucking our toes, and coming up into a plank pose. Plank looks just like the top of a push-up. Maybe we push up through our shoulder blades, and back down again. Keeping our hands right where they are, and we'll lift our tailbone up into the air for downward facing dog. So it's perfectly all right. In fact, it's very normal for the heels not to touch. They usually don't. So we get a big stretch in the backs of our thighs. As you inhale, we'll come forward. And exhale, lower all the way back down to the mat. Inhaling up for baby cobra. We're zipping up our legs, squeezing our hips, lifting off the ground just a little bit, and then exhale back down, tucking your toes, inhaling up for plank, and exhale, downward facing dog. And let's look forward and step forward into a forward fold. Generous bend in your knees. Holding on to opposite elbows. Turn forward so you can see. And then you can swing back and forth if you like. Let your head hang. Or if you like, you can keep yourself into a halfway lifted position with the hands on the shins or the thighs, or back flat like a tabletop. When it's time for you to exhale, we'll come into a chair pose, rocking our weight back into our heels, reaching out long, squeezing the hips, lifting up with the legs, lifting up long, stretching up toward the ceiling. Let's prepare for sun salutations. As you exhale, bending the knees, and we'll step the right foot back, picking up the left and stepping that back. Downward facing dog. Inhale forward for plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale up for cobra. Exhale back down. When you're ready to inhale, come up into plank, knees or the toes, and back into downward facing dog as you exhale. On your next inhale, right heel lifts up towards the sky and steps forward towards your hands. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, back foot comes up to meet the front. Forward fold. As you inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, chair. Inhale, squeeze up, lift up, reach. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot steps back. Inhale, right foot steps back. Down dog. Inhale, forward for plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale up for our cobra. Squeezing the hips, zipping up the legs, looking down at the ground. We're just lifting up a little bit before we exhale all the way back down. Inhale up for plank, knees or toes. Tucking your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel rises up and steps forward. Inhale up for a high lunge. And exhale, front back foot comes up to meet the front for forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, chair. Reaching out long from your hips. Inhale, lifting up with your legs. That was one full round. Let's do two more. Exhale. Inhale, right foot steps back. Picking up the left. Down dog. Inhale, forward for plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale up. Lift up off the ground just a little bit. Tuck your toes. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right heel floats up and steps forward towards your hands. Lift up tall, high lunge. Back foot comes up to meet the front. Up. There we go. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot steps back. Picking up the right, stepping it back. Down dog. Inhale, forward for plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, up for plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel floats up and steps forward towards your hands. Hands raise up. Back foot comes up to meet the front. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair. Last round. Maybe not as many cues this time. Let's see if you can follow along. Picking up the right. Into down dog. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the chest off the ground just a little bit. Exhale, all the way down. Tucking the toes, inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, right heel floats up. Steps forward towards the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair. Last time on this side, reaching up tall, maybe a little bit higher than we did last time. Exhale, down we go. Bending your knees, stepping back the left foot, stepping back the right. Tucking your toes, inhale it up to plank. Exhale, dog. Inhale, left heel floats up, steps towards your hands. Reach up tall. Right foot comes up to meet the left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, rock back into the heels, reaching far away, back into chair. Let's reach up tall. This is called mountain pose. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Our palms are facing towards one another. And let's exhale, take some side stretches. As you exhale, reach your hand over. As you inhale, come back into center. On your next inhale, we'll stay right here. Wiggling out the toes, wiggling out the fingers. And exhale, hands down to your chest. We'll reach out long from here and find our way into a warrior two position. So from here, we'll step out, my left leg long, left knee is bent, the right leg is straight. Raise up both of your hands, shoulder height, palm down, and a soft gaze over your left fingertips. As you exhale, let's take our hand back down to our straight leg and flip our hand up and over. You can straighten out that front leg if you like. Maybe take it back down. Exhale back down to warrior two. Inhale back up, high five the wall back behind you for peaceful warrior. And find our way back into warrior two once more. This time, let's go ahead and squeeze that leg a little bit straighter. Place our top hand into the inside of that front leg. And then our hand is back on our waist. Let's see what happens when we take it straight up into the air. Now there's other things happening besides our hands raising up in the air. Imagine that the crown of your head is also reaching, just like your hand is reaching. And if you like, you can take your top hand and bring it right outside your ear. Maybe we'll raise our chest a little bit closer up toward the ceiling. On your next inhale, good. Come back into warrior two. And back into center. Let's bring our toes pointed out, reaching up tall, and exhale. Let's take a forward fold with our legs nice and wide. You can bend your knees here too if you like. Maybe bend one knee here and straighten out the other. And when you're ready, we'll switch over to the other side. Do warrior two. This time, my other hand is reaching out long. I'm just gazing over it. The other hand is back, reaching back behind me. This time my right knee is bent and my left leg is out long. And as I inhale, high five the wall back behind me. Either straighten my leg or keep the bend in it. Exhale it back down into warrior two. And when you're ready to come back down into warrior two once more, we'll go ahead and stay there. Squeeze that front leg straight or nearly straight. It's okay if it has a bend in it. Bringing your top hand down into the inside of your leg. When you look down, you'll be able to see your palm. Staying right here, or raising your other hand up into the air. So our hands are reaching away from one another. What if the crown of our head was also reaching out long? Check and see. Make sure that you're still breathing. If this pose is so intense that you start to hold your breath, maybe we'll bring our legs a little bit closer together. Maybe we'll bring our torso up to the ceiling just a little bit, turn it up to the ceiling. Maybe we'll bring that hand right outside the ear. On your next inhale, we'll come back into warrior two. Reaching out long. And exhale. Let's bring ourselves back down to the mat. Finding ourselves into our plank position. And exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe we'll go back and forth a couple of times. Inhale forward for plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And when you're ready to back into plank, we'll stay here, puffing up through our shoulder blades. And exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Maybe we'll come down around to our side and onto our forearm for forearm plank. Lifting up through the bottom hip. if we can take our legs out long. I like to take my top leg and place it over like so, but we're still lifting up through the bottom hip. That's the action that we really want right there. We'll stay here for about 3 breaths. And on your next exhale, we'll lower all the way back down, spin around, switch to the other side. Onto our forearm, starting with our knees first, lifting up through the hip. And if it feels all right, maybe we'll add our feet as well. I like to take my front foot over, continuing to lift up through the hip. Staying here for about 3 breaths. If you want to, you can take your arm and wave it if you want to. Not necessary. The thing we want is the hip. But sometimes it feels good to wave your arm around. And when you're finished with the 3rd exhale, we'll come all the way back down. Coming down around into our child's pose. Knees open, feet together, resting our forearms and forehead to or toward the mat. On your next inhale, we'll come up and spin around, coming around to lie down on the mat, preparing for yogi bicycles. So feet lift off of the ground, the shins are parallel to the earth, hands back behind you. As you inhale, we'll reach our right leg long and exhale, right hand across the left knee. Inhale back into center and exhale to the other side, left leg straight, left hand long outside the right knee. Inhale, center, and exhale, reach. We're keeping our shoulder blades lifted just a little bit. And we're taking these slow because they count more when they're slow. We're linking our movement to our breath as we inhale and as we exhale. We'll do one more on both sides. Inhale back into center and exhale, lower your feet down to the mat. Let's go ahead and hug our knees in towards our chest and roll from side to side. Maybe holding on to the backs of our knees right so, and rocking up into a seated position. We'll do something here called boat pose. This is also something that works your stomach muscles. Holding on to the backs of your thighs, keeping your back fairly straight. If it starts to curve, it's going to be a lot harder to do this exercise. So we're keeping our back straight, our toes onto the ground. Maybe we'll lift one toe up into the air and exhale it back down. Inhale up the other and back down we go. Now let's see what happens. Take it nice and slow. Taking up one leg. Maybe we'll keep the shins at parallel to the floor. Maybe we'll take the other one. Now let's see what happens when we take our arms off of our legs. Maybe we can reach out long. Maybe we can reach out so. Maybe you can take your hands up over your head, get a good shake in your body. And exhale it all the way back down, crossing the legs. We'll step up and prepare for tree pose. Okay, if you don't see like the very tippy fingertips.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, finding our way into tree pose. Our hands right here at the center of our chest. Thumbs right here. And we'll take my left heel over top of my right ankle. Tree pose. Or, if you want to play with your balance, you can take the sole of your foot and bring it against the inside of your right leg, avoiding your knee. Staying right here, or growing your tree. Find something on the ground in front of you that's not moving. It'll help you with your balance. Now, if you want to challenge your balance, you can also look over at one of your outstretched hands. Here we go. It's okay. On your next inhale, you come back up into tree pose whenever you fall. And as you exhale, bring everything back down. There we go. Let's switch over to the other side. This time, the right heel is up over top of the left ankle. Hands to the center of your chest. Or you can slide up the foot and bring the sole of your foot into the inside of your left leg. Inhale, reach up tall. Maybe you can grow your tree in different ways this time. And we'll bring our hands back down to heart center, and if you'd like, you can really play with your balance for just a moment. When you get your hands to the center of your chest, maybe close your eyes for just a moment. You can see how much we rely on our balance, or our eyes for our balance. And bring it back down. Okay. Reaching up tall, and exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees. Let's come back in down and find our way into our downward facing dog. Eventually we're going to come down and lie back down onto your back.